Participants, we will now move on to our next panel discussion, which will shift our focus on the role of collaboration and exchange of information in combating corruption in the tourism industry. This session aims to shed light on the challenges of international cooperation in combating corruption within the tourism sector, taking into account its inherently global and cross-border nature. Please join us in welcoming the panelists and moderator for the session.
Mr. Rilwan Sharif, currently serving as the Coordinator for Strategy and Development Pro Temp at the Interpol Financial Crime and Anti-Corruption Center in Lyon, France. With an academic background in accounting and finance with a specialism in forensic accounting. Now, as a seconded official in Interpol, his main responsibilities oversee coordinating activities relating to the development and the maintenance of partnerships with other organizations and the oversight of the project management.
Ustaz Muhammad Abdullah, a public prosecutor and an active legal practitioner at the Prosecutor General's Office of the Maldives. He holds both Bachelor of Arts and an LLB and has played a critical role in handling mutual legal assistance requests from countries around the world, including those coordinated by Eurojust and the FBI. Currently, he leads the Economic and Financial Crime Section and the International Relations Department at PGO. He also serves as a focal point for the CJUST network.
Mr. Lai Wai Ki, Assistant Director of ICAC, representing International Association of Anti-Corruption Authorities, Hong Kong, China. With nearly 2 decades of dedicated service in the anti-corruption field, he has been instrumental in tackling corruption through investigation, prevention, and education. His work spans from critical sectors including finance, construction, healthcare, and tourism. He leads corruption prevention reviews, develops strategies and research, and coordinates sector-wide integrity campaigns, and delivers training on good governance and preventive practices.
Ms. Bridget Strobel-Shaw serves as the Chief of the Corruption and Economic Crime Branch of UNODC, and the Secretary of the Conference of States of Parties to the United Nations Convention Against Corruption. A lawyer by training, Ms. Strobel-Shaw also previously worked for a private law firm with an LLM and 2 advanced law degrees, and Ms. Strobel-Shaw is an accomplished legal professional with a wealth of experience on anti-corruption.
And moderating this session, we are pleased to have Ms. Catherine Marty, a seasoned legal analyst specializing in anti-corruption frameworks and international compliance. She has served as a senior anti-corruption expert with the UNDP. In this role, she has worked to align the Kingdom's legal and institutional frameworks within the OECD Convention on Combating Bribery of Foreign Public Officials in International Business Transactions. Her expertise lies in advising anti-corruption reforms and strengthening institutional integrity. She has worked at the OECD Anti-Bribery Division and at the FATF Secretariat before joining Nazaha. Now I invite the esteemed panelists and the moderator for the panel discussion to the stage.
Yes, good morning, everyone. I know that we are running out of time, so we will try to be as focused as possible. And I think anyway, the discussion can continue outside the room and obviously tonight also at the dinner. So I'm very pleased and honored to be with you today. I wanted also to start with to thank Saudi Arabia and the Maldives for these very important events and congratulate the countries of the OIC for the approval and endorsement of these very important high-level principles. The discussion today is about, basically, in this panel, the discussion is about international cooperation. As any cross-border crime, corruption is, including in the tourist sector, is a challenge when it comes to enforcement of legislation. And many progress have been done in the past 5-10 years to strengthen the legal frameworks, to strengthen the capacity of institutions to go after corruption, including in the tourism sector. But more needs to be done in terms of sharing information cross-border. Many initiatives have been taken also to facilitate not only the mutual legal assistance and the legal, the most elaborated ways of sharing information, but also informal sharing of information has been developing, including under the umbrella of many United Nations instruments. So today I have the pleasure to have 4 distinguished panelists, and I think the idea is for them to highlight very much what the institution can bring to the needs for strengthening international cooperation, as it's highlighted in the high-level principle number 2 of the high-level principle that the OIC has approved this week. And also we will get also the perspective from also an institution, an anti-corruption agency, and the perspective also from a law enforcement body. I will start obviously from the general, and we will go to the specific, and I will start with the UNODC, Madam, and I will like to ask you to what extent and at what level the UNODC can continue providing assistance in the performing better in MLA, in asset recovery and return, and how you can assist the countries in the room. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you also to our hosts, first and foremost, to the Maldives and Saudi Arabia for organizing this forum and for having UNODC participate. We're very pleased to be here and to be part of the Maldives family. I would like to say a few words at the outset about UNODC, maybe for those in the room that don't know us. In the area of anti-corruption, we are the dedicated office in the UN system responsible to be the guardian of the UN Convention Against Corruption. We had heard a lot of delegations mention the convention. It's the only global international instrument on corruption, and we're very proud to be its guardian, but also the secretariat to its Conference of the States Parties, the 11th session of which will take place in Doha later this year in December. And I hope to see many of you again in Doha participating in that session. We're also the secretariat of the implementation review mechanism, which is a peer review process by which 2 countries assess the compliance of the convention in a third country. And in that context, we are privy to a tremendous amount of information, including on international cooperation and asset recovery. So I'm very pleased to respond to Catherine's question, and we've certainly seen progress in international cooperation, but a huge amount of gaps still remain. We have seen countries encountering legal, institutional, but also practical barriers that limit their ability to respond effectively to mutual legal assistance requests and pursue international cooperation and asset recovery. These challenges can stem from outdated or fragmented legislation, limited institutional coordination, and resource or capacity constraints, particularly in cases involving cross-border corruption and complex financial schemes. From UNODC's perspective, addressing these gaps remains a priority and requires also a multi-layered approach. First, strengthening domestic legislative frameworks in line with the UNCAC remains critical, and as I said, we've seen even in areas of criminalization of bribery, which is a core article, we've seen legislative gaps in the review process, and specifically also in the area of international cooperation. There are particularly challenges in the area of non-conviction-based confiscation, as expediting asset freezing and streamlining cooperation procedures. However, laws alone are not enough, and you know that operational cooperation is often what makes or breaks a corruption case, especially when it crosses borders. This is why we're very pleased to also serve as the secretariat to the GLOBI network, which was established in 2021, the Global Operational Network of Anti-Corruption Law Enforcement Authorities, provides a secure, practitioner-focused platform enabling law enforcement officials to connect, cooperate, and coordinate directly and informally with their counterparts across jurisdictions in real time. The network currently has 234 members, operational authorities representing 126 member states and parties to UNCAC, among others our hosts, Saudi Arabia and the Maldives, and many others here in the room. It helps bridge gaps in formal MLA by enabling real-time communication, knowledge exchange, and access to practical resources, such as a virtual directory of open source registries. While MLA remains essential for obtaining admissible evidence, it's often time-consuming. Networks like GLOBI allow practitioners to make initial informal inquiries, clarify legal requirements, and identify relevant agencies or officials, thus streamlining the formal process. They can also be the foundation for the creation of joint investigation teams and other practical measures for law enforcement agencies to cooperate across state boundaries. GLOBI has already demonstrated that peer-to-peer connections are essential, particularly in time-sensitive or complex investigations. A major tool of the GLOBI network which is on offer is a secure end-to-end encrypted communication platform which facilitates the exchange of information and intelligence, and we're in the process of further customizing the platform and enhancing its capabilities to develop it into a state-of-the-art collaboration tool for GLOBI members. The GLOBI network has built strong and valuable partnerships with other organizations and networks that play a key role in the fight against corruption. To mention just a few, its observers and partners include the OECD, the Gulf Cooperation Council, Europol, CAREN, the World Bank, and the Egmont Group of Financial Intelligence Units. In the tourism sector, where regulatory environments often involve multiple actors and cross-border operations, such collaboration is especially important. Corruption risks in tourism infrastructure, procurement, permits, and investment can easily span jurisdictions and require authorities to quickly identify foreign counterparts, understand unfamiliar systems, and share intelligence. We hope that GLOBI can be a useful tool in all our international corruption cases, including those involving the tourism sector. Strengthening both the formal and informal cooperation pathways and ensuring that all relevant actors are equipped to engage in this work is central to achieving sustainable impact. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Brigitte. Thank you very much. And we will be staying at the level of international organizations, statement and contribution to this discussion. And I will turn to our colleague from Interpol to see what insight he can bring to the discussion when it comes to, favoring and supporting international cooperation. Thank you, William.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And I am really appreciate for the wonderful arrangements by the organizers. First, I would like to say the crime these days is complex and transnational. So the crime doesn't stop at borders. They don't recognize the sea. So it flows from system to system. According to a law enforcement survey, it shows that 68% of the organized crime groups they have investigated have members in multiple nations. So it doesn't only, the crime doesn't only belong to one nation. And also this study shows that 76% of the threatening criminal networks, they have the presentation or they have the members in, or they are active in 2 to 7 countries. So what is the main reason behind this? So it is like because of the rapid digitalization, and also since crime is sophisticated, they move from weak system to other system. So as Interpol, what we can provide So our main strength is we can provide the operational support. This is one of our key advantage we have. We have the most outreach, and also we can provide the help in our member countries developing the infrastructure and also human resource development. Let me give you an example on the operational support that we provided. Even though this case is not specific to the corruption in tourism, this is what Interpol and IFCEC we can provide. With our partners and Spanish police, we dismantled an organized crime group involved in fixing sports events. So, without going to the background of the case, so what Interpol did, what is the assistance we provided? So on this case, with the help of our support and with our counterparts, we were able to arrest 76 suspects, including players, facilitators, and money mules, etc. And also, most of the suspects in this case belongs to countries Spain, Romania, Bulgaria, and UAE as well. We provide case mentoring, like how the investigators need to focus, what are the weak areas that we can provide support, and also forwarding the case mentoring. Result of the operational support we provided, we were able to produce one purple notice to warn the modus operandi, so that this can be prevented in other member countries, and also produce of blue notice to locate the fugitive, and also produce of red notice to locate arrest of the group leader. We also provide the support to extraction and analysis of data. One of the key strengths that Interpol has, we have like 196 member countries. This includes Interpol have representation in 190 countries. They have their national center bureau, so all the law enforcement agencies within that country can reach to them to get support from the Interpol. We provide support to train the law enforcement. We provide the support to develop the infrastructure. One of the key tools that we have is we have the 19 databases and also Interpol notices. So Interpol notices is for international request from one member country to other member country to ask for support or to give information on the crime or the crime suspects. Most famous one is Red Notice. I think audience, they have seen from movies or from a lot of the media that this is a very famous notice. This Red Notice is focused on the location and arrest of the suspect. Even though we have more than 77,000 valid Red Notices, only 10% of these notices are available for the general public. We also have Purple Notice on providing information on how the crime committed, what are the risks, and what are the information that can be learned from this crime, so that the other member countries are aware of the modus operandi of this case. And also, we recently learned Silver Notice, and we are now in the pilot phase of the Silver Notice. We, as crime stoppers, we realize that the main reason behind the crime is it generates a lot of money. So Silver Notice more is focused on like identifying the assets and also possibilities for the freezing the assets. During this pilot phase, we have 51 countries participating in the pilot phase, and also we are hoping to have more members on board after the pilot phase. When we talk about the databases, this is very crucial when it comes to cross-border crimes, because member countries or the law enforcement officials at the street or at the border can have the access to Interpol police information that provided by the member countries, so they can search on real time how this person belongs to and what is the behind this person. And also, I am happy to say that since from 2019, Maldives, even the police frontline officers, customs, anti-corruption officers, and also the immigration officers at our border, they have access to these databases. We have a huge number of hits on these systems, so they can take the immediate necessary action based on these hits. And also we have a global focal point network, which includes the anti-corruption officials, so that they can have informal and formal communication to share the best practices and also how to get the support from one member country to another member country. I know time is very limited, so I will not go for the more details on, but I am available till the end of this forum, so if any participants wants to have like a one-to-one direction or one-to-one involvement in the case, I am always available. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And it's interesting to see how the tools available, adjust to corruption risks, evolution, and new trends. So thank you very much for that. And now we will turn also, since we have a lot of anti-corruption authorities in the room, we will turn to the International Association of Anti-Corruption Authorities and to Lu Lei, and to give us another perspective on these issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. Good morning, Your Excellencies and distinguished guests. I would like to extend my gratitude to the Oversight and Anti-Corruption Authority of Saudi Arabia and Anti-Corruption Commission of Maldives for the invitation and having me here today. Actually, I have two dual roles. An Assistant Director of the Independent Commission Against Corruption in Hong Kong, China, as well as representative of the International Association of Anti-Corruption Authorities, IACA. Yeah. So before delving into how IACA can actively support and enhance collaboration in combating corruption in the tourism sector, please allow me to briefly introduce IACA. Actually, it was established in 2006, and it is an independent and non-political anti-corruption organization committed to promoting the effective implementation of the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, UNCAC, and supporting anti-corruption agencies worldwide in the fight against corruption. Since early 2022, IACA's memberships has expanded significantly from 122 to 180 organizations, including 40 members from the OIC. IACA has adopted strategic pillars focused on enhancing experience sharing, forging international partnerships, and strengthening online platforms for dialogue. Now, let me answer your question. Corruption is in the tourism sector poses unique challenges that require coordinated international responses. To effectively combat corruption in this vital industry, IACA can implement specific initiatives and strategies to foster bilateral, regional, and multilateral collaboration among countries. First, we can do it through establishing regional anti-corruption networks. Through the regional coordination mechanism of IACA, member countries can exchange best practices, discuss challenges, and develop strategies tailored to their specific context. Regular meetings and workshops will enhance communication and cooperation among member states, fostering a united front against corruption in the tourism sector. Second, joint capacity building programs. In February 2024, we marked a significant milestone in the establishment of the Hong Kong International Academy Against Corruption, forming a tripartite partnership among IACA, the ICAC, Hong Kong, China, and its academy. This tripartite partnership is designed to benefit anti-corruption agencies worldwide by leveraging the strengths of each entity, the ICAC's vast experience, the Academy's research and training platform, and IACA's extensive global network. This collaboration promises to significantly enhance international anti-corruption efforts. Since its establishment, the Academy has organized over 30 international courses for 2,000 graft fighters from over 70 jurisdictions. Some of our training programs are held overseas, including professional training courses for anti-corruption agencies in Maldives, Mali, Kazakhstan, Greece, South Africa, etc. In this context, we can develop joint training programs for anti-corruption agencies, focusing on forensic accounting, investigation techniques, and legal frameworks specific to tourism-related corruption. The last but not the least, information sharing platforms. To combat corruption effectively, IACA makes use of its online platforms, such as a website, e-news, e-newsletters, and a Facebook page, which keep our members updated on the additionally, we encourage thematic sharing from anti-corruption agencies, research institutions, and other organizations. This sharing enriches our community by offering insights into best practices, innovative initiatives, and research findings in the anti-corruption field. This resource will enable ICANN members to easily access and share important initiatives, fostering interactive interaction anytime and anywhere. To conclude, conclusion is a global challenge without boundaries. Particularly within the tourism sector, where the interplay of various stakeholders complicates efforts to combat it. ICA is committed to fostering collaboration among country members to address this challenge effectively. I invite all of you, to join the vital endeavor. For those agencies not yet part of IACA, I encourage you to join us and leverage on this international platform. To our existing members, your continuous support is very important. And as we work together towards a corruption-free world, together we can ensure that integrity and transparency become the hallmarks of our global tourism industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Lei. And something you said is very important. I think it's about the, the sharing of good practices, of experiences. I think it's something very important, especially in the region when you have some very common features in your legal and institutional frameworks, and that I trust is very important. Another point you made is also about the inclusiveness of anti-corruption and how we all can and have a role to play, including, civil society, academia, and that everyone has a seat at the table. Talking about everyone's responsibilities and contribution to the fight against corruption, I would like to turn to Mohammed. We have the very pleasure to have with us a law enforcer, a public prosecutors, and I think it's always very excellent to have practitioners. They bring us to reality, they bring us to, how these people do the job on a day-to-day basis. And I would like to get your opinion on what you believe we could be doing collectively to help enforcement of corruption offenses, and what we can be, taken into the discussion when it comes also to collecting information from abroad. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Catherine. Thank you, Ms. Catherine, and thank you, Anti-Corruption Commission, and thank you all the organizers of this great conference. It is a privilege to be a part of this panel discussion, and the Prosecutor General Office really appreciates this given opportunity to us. I think the question that was asked to me demands a very specific answer, a very focused answer. It is demanding me to recommend 5 actionable measures that can improve law enforcement efforts, focusing on international cooperation and asset recovery regime. So, an action to be an actionable measure, I think it should fulfill some requirements, or some criteria should be fulfilled in it to be an actionable measure. From my point of view, it should be something that can be achievable and something that can have impactful impact on the work that are being done by law enforcement officers. And also, it should be something that goes in conformity with the principle of parallel goals. So thinking and considering these 3 points, I will try to first mention one by one 5 actionable measures that I think would really bring a positive impact on law enforcement efforts. And I think I'll leave for the participant to decide whether it is actionable or not. Now let's move with the actionable measures. First, I think the first important actionable measure should be focused on where these kind of criminal activities are usually detected. And I think it is the financial intelligence units that are established in all countries. So we have to optimize the use of financial intelligence units that are established in all the countries. Second, we have to utilize the cybercrime units and also Interpol that are available for all the jurisdictions. And third point, we should operationalize joint investigation teams. And fourth, we should leverage multilateral and regional networkings. And fifth, we should always try to improve our capacity building. And also we should strengthen our legal frameworks to deal with corruption-related or financial crimes that are being considered as complex in its nature. If I have time, I think I can briefly go to one by one. Why would we need to be focused on financial intelligence unit is that the law enforcement officers are very much working hard to get a successful result for their criminal investigation. For them, there are a lot of crucial informations that are being available at financial intelligence units. In financial intelligence units, you can get information that can help law enforcement officers to identify beneficial ownerships, also politically exposed persons, as well as financial intelligence units can help investigators to know where he has to focus his investigation. By means of giving transaction analysis reports or by providing suspicious transaction reports. These informations can be considered as crucial intelligence information that are very important for an investigator. And if he works with financial intelligence units, if the investigator works with the financial intelligence units do have MOUs with other countries as well. They do have membership with Egmont membership as well. So by engaging financial intelligence units, the investigators will be doing a great job on promoting international cooperation and also promoting asset recovery regime as well. The second point that I have mentioned was that we should utilize our own domestic cybercrime units and Interpol. My co-panelist has already mentioned the tools that the Interpol has. These tools are very important for modern day criminal investigations. If we want to find the reality of a wrongdoer or a suspect who is alleged to have conducted criminal activities, we should know that today they'll be using social media applications or they'll be using electronic forms of service providers that are located at various jurisdictions. So for a criminal investigation to be a very successful, I think there is a need for the engagement of cybercrime departments to get some crucial evidences that are necessary for a successful conviction of a criminal prosecution that are focused on financial crimes. And the third point that I mentioned was that we should always focus on promoting joint investigation teams. With me, we have a panelist from corruption-related divisions of UN ODC as well. I think there is, I think, 58 or 59 of UNCEC really promotes the use of joint investigation teams. So countries might not be having joint investigation teams or the provisions related to joint investigation mentioned or explained in their domestic laws, but we should always refer to international treaties like UNCEC, and we should try to promote joint investigation teams. By promoting joint investigation teams, all the parties, all the investigators of the case will be winning the case, for sure. In today's criminal investigation, we have identified suspect might belong to state A, and the victims might belong to state B, and the proceeds of crime may be in state C. So there is a need of having a lot of evidences being collected at various jurisdictions. So if we bring joint investigation teams into an operation, it will be really helpful to resolve the complexity of jurisdiction matters as well. And the fourth point that I mentioned was that we should leverage regional and multilateral networking. Today in this conference, we have multi-countries that are being present here. This is also a form of promoting networking. But I feel like networking should not be just a simple one gathering. It has a lot of benefits in it. It should be a focused area that law enforcement agencies and even the prosecution authorities should focus to develop. I am a focal point to CJUST Network. CJUST Network has helped Maldives on matters of mutual legal assistance and extraditions very well. We used to have preliminary meetings in every year where the focal points will be sitting together and discussing the trends or the matters that they have with their jurisdictions. And when we do engage with this kind of networkings, the advantage that we get is when we want to send an MLA request, maybe for Malaysia or for Thailand or any other country, we'll know to whom we should contact. We might have to send the document through diplomatic channel, but if we have this contact that we have built through networking, it will really fasten or speed up the process of executing this MLA request. If we don't have this kind of networkings, then we must rely on diplomatic channels, and it might take days for it to be executed. So this is the benefits that are available for law enforcement agencies that they opt to involve in this kind of networking. And I think we all agree that if we are focused on developing our human rights angle, like providing trainings, we should not only be focusing on one single institution. It will be always better to have participants from different institutions that are relevant for that kind of training. And also, training is not the only thing that the prosecutors or investigators that they need for their works to be successful. If they are practically engaged, if they are given the chances to be practically engaged with other jurisdictions, like exchange programs or study tours to different central authorities or to different law enforcement authorities, they will bring positive changes to their domestic system as well. So with that, I want to conclude my recommendations. Thank you, Ms. Catherine, once again. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mohamed. It's been very interesting, and I really enjoy always talking with practitioners and prosecutors, and especially thank you very much for your insight. And I think it's, as you said, it's very important to have specialized agencies, specialized experts, but thinking outside the box, being inclusive, having a inter-agency collaboration, training, because at the end of the day, corruption is an hidden crime, and you need someone to detect, you need someone to gather information at the preliminary stage, and financial intelligence unit have this role to play. And we see many jurisdictions, they still work in silos. You know, you have your anti-corruption agency, you have the financial intelligence unit, but they don't really talk to each other. So all of that requires more effort and more training, more expertise, and also exposure to foreign experiences and exchange of staff between institutions. All of these tools are very important to make the difference at the end of the day when it comes to enforcement. So thank you very much to the panelists. I'm really sorry we don't have the time to take questions from the floor. But I encourage every one of you to come to us, to the distinguished panelists, if you have any question or if you wish to enter further discussion. I'm sorry, gentlemen, we have to stop the discussion here, but please continue the conversation. We have a full day and the evening to continue the discussion. Thank you so much for your attention, and let's go for the next panel discussion or presentation. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you to all our panelists for sharing their valuable insights on the importance of collaboration and exchange of information in our effort to combat corruption in the tourism sector. Before we conclude, once again, we kindly invite our participants to provide feedback on the session by scanning the QR code now displayed on the screen as well as on your table. Your input is important to help us improve the future engagements. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings an end to the proceedings for the morning